Friday's MTK Fight Night at Liverpool's Olympia. We have a great event here in April, and we're back even better with former world champions, world title challengers, Olympians and top prospects. Headlining is a true 50-50 IBF world ranking title fight, a former world title challenger in Liverpool's own JAZZA Dickens, and the IBF number 8 NATHANIEL. Who can pick a winner? I certainly can't. We're also delighted to welcome back the hugely popular Martin Murray, a 4-time world title challenger who has undoubted class and a new lease of life. One man has already been a long reigning world champion is Terry Flanagan, who takes on the dangerous African champion Jonas Sigu. Then there's a history-making Olympian in Natasha Jonas, Miss GB. I believe we're about to learn just how big of a role she plans to play in the continued growth of women's boxing. Another local is unbeaten Sam Maxwell, who has become an internet sensation with his dramatic last round knockout victory of Steery on the Frank Warren show in Leicester back in March. An undercard features unbeaten Jed Carroll against one of the busiest and best away fighters on the circuit in Jordan Ellison, who always comes to fight, and a former elite amateur, Johnny Quigley, who continues to gain momentum and target titles. We'll also welcome Craig Glover on the card, a highly rated cruiserweight managed by some other former cruiserweight from this place called Tony Bellew. So I'm sure you can agree this is a stacked card. That's quite enough of me, so I'm going to hand it over to our head of media, Isaac Robertson, to take us through the press conference. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Lee. Great to be here in Liverpool for what promises to be another great card. We're going to kick straight off with the fighters. Lee's described very well all the card and the fighters involved, so we'll start with Johnny Quigley, if that's okay. Johnny, I spoke to you a couple of months ago, I think just before your comeback fight, and you were very open and honest about sort of where you've been in the last year and what you've had to come back from. Just give us an idea of how bad it got and how pleased you are to have reached this point.
Well, at the start of the year, I was touching 14 stone. I was mentally and physically in a terrible place. Just lost my focus, lost my way, and just I was depressed, severely depressed. But I've got myself back in the gym. I've got myself back active. And I fought a couple of weeks ago on the other MTK show. I think I fought like super welterweight, which is crazy, but it got me back in. Since then, I've had 1 day off and been straight back in the gym, and I'm looking to fight again Friday and stone lighter again, and then I'm going to keep making my way back down to super featherweight and getting right back in the mix.
Fantastic, Johnny. Well said. That's really inspiring to hear, and given how hugely promising you were as an amateur, the talent has always been there for everyone to see. You've had a pretty stop-start career as a professional, but now you seem to be fully focused and almost sort of born again, if you like. What's left for you to achieve as a professional now?
I feel like I can still win some major titles. I said it early in the week. I think the only thing that's stopped me from reaching the heights I want to reach is inactivity. I mean, there's been like sometimes 2 years in between a fight, so now if I stay active, in glimpses people say I'm good and I can do stuff, but you'll never see the best of me fighting once a year. It'll never happen, so now I'm active. Hopefully it's time for people to see the best of me now.
Fantastic, Joe. We look forward to seeing you take the second step back on the road towards those titles. We're now going to move on to Sam Maxwell, who's, as Lee mentioned, has become a bit of an internet sensation, and it seems like he really knows it as well. He's changed his number, he's turning up late. It's really gone to his head. How has, all jokes aside, how has life changed for you? I spoke to you, I think, the day after, or maybe 2 days after that incredible victory, and you said your phone hadn't stopped. So I guess you're riding the wave now. Your profile's rocketed.
Yeah, I think what I wanted from 2009 was try and get exposure and get a title, and then it couldn't have gone any better for me in terms of like the result. I know the fight didn't go the way I planned, but in terms of getting the exposure, I couldn't have asked for any better. Like people who would have known my name, and then a lot of people watched the fight, tuned in, so it was a good thing.
People always tell me what a great boxer you are. It seems like you quite like to go to war as well. Are we expecting such a dramatic fight as that again on Friday night?
No, there won't need more fights like that now for the rest of my career. Like, yeah, just hopefully put on a boxing show and use my jab and then yeah, show what I'm about. No more fights like that.
Super lightweight is, as everyone knows, a very hot division at the moment. Even in Sam's very gym, there's some pretty serious operators. When you look at now your sort of profile's so high, I guess it's time to start thinking about capitalising on that with big fights, titles. Where do you rank yourself in the domestic scene at 140 now?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, there's this division stacked with names just in Britain. Like I look at the British rankings on Box Rec, and every fight above me is a class fight, and yeah, I want to be involved in them now. And I think, you know, with the exposure and with my title, a lot more people will take a fight with me. So I'm looking forward to a big year.
Thanks for that, Sam. We're looking forward to taking the next step on Friday night. Another good fight. Now, in history, only one woman will ever be the first British boxer to have qualified for the Olympics. It's always going to be Tasha Jonas forever. So that's a big sort of boast to have up your sleeve. And I know she's a real hero to Great Britain, to female boxers everywhere, and to this city as well. So Tasha, how excited are you to be sort of in a position now where you can come back to Liverpool and again show off your progress to your hometown supporters?
Yeah, I think as an amateur, when you get to the GB level and the elite level, that you don't really get to box at home much. And it's great that as a professional I've been able to come to Liverpool so many times, and you know, I've won titles here and boxed in front of sell-out crowds, and I want to continue to do that.
Brilliant. And recently we've seen the growth of women's boxing is exponential, but we've seen actually what could be classed as sort of super fights in Taylor versus Bassoon, and also Shields v Hammer before that. How much more does that give you now you've got the ESPN platform starting on Friday night? How much more inspiration does that give you to push yourself up to that level?
Yeah, obviously I came back from a loss last year, and my first one as a professional, but I think I've moved on since then and I've got better, and I'm still learning the craft of professional boxing, but I can definitely see myself up there, and hopefully I'll get a world title shot before the end of the year.
Yeah, I think everyone's looking forward to getting to that world level. One man who's already been at that world level and succeeded is, as Lee mentioned earlier, Terry Flanagan. He comes here as a proven world level fighter. Recently fought 2 elite opponents and suffered the first 2 defeats of his career. Now back at lightweight, Terry, do you feel like maybe your rise went on for so long, you eventually hit a ceiling, now you know where the ceiling is, you're back down maybe at a more natural weight and you can smash through that ceiling?
No, not at all. I believe that I could still win a world title at 10 stone, but yeah, the best opportunities now for me are going to be at lightweight. Obviously, 5 straight defences of a world title. I got offered the opportunity to step up and try and become a 2-weight world champion, and I jumped at the chance, but it wasn't meant to be. I lost on a split decision in my own town, and yeah, it just one of them things shit happened, so hopefully we can get back down now and start looking to box the titles again.
Do you feel like you're maybe one of the most underrated British fighters? I remember talking to you probably won't remember, I was writing an article on you about maybe 4 or 5 years ago and called you up, maybe you were a couple of defences in, and you said you were still driving a beat up old Vauxhall Corsa around Manchester. You weren't sort of interested in the fame side of it. Do you think that's led to people perhaps underrating just how you're a world level fighter?
Yeah, it's probably because I'm not one for really shouting my mouth off or shouting people out. I just like to box me and let me boxing do the talking. It's not always a good thing though. Like you say, you need to start putting yourself out there more on social media and getting people to know you, but yeah, I do believe I am the best lightweight in the country by far, and if not one of the best in the world. And looking at the lightweight rankings, it's lightweight champions now that I believe I'll beat tomorrow, so yeah, I'm just happy to get back boxing, back winning, back home again fighting, and yeah, stepping up. Last time wasn't easy, then going in the World Boxing Series and probably boxing the pound for pound best in the division, and yes, I thought it was a close fight up until we knocked down, and yeah, it was just one of them things. I'm happy now, get back down to lightweight and go and win another world title, I think.
Brilliant. Just lastly, very briefly on the opponent that's coming, Jonas Sega is an African champion. We've seen some African champions come over here and upset some apple carts in the past, so I presume this is one you're taking very, very seriously.
I take every fight serious. I mean, I never look past anyone, so that's why I'm where I am today. So yeah, I've watched him had a sit down with coach, watching him, see what he's good at, what he's not so good at. He's there to be able to come to a fight, so it's going to be an exciting night.
Thanks very much, Terry. We're looking forward to seeing you take the next step back to the very top. One man who's fought at the very top countless times is Martin Murray. Everyone knows how close he's been to a world title. I'm sure no one's sicker than him of hearing it. But it almost sounded last time we spoke, Martin, about you carrying on, that you felt like the pressure's almost off now, and you were simply enjoying boxing again. How much more dangerous does that make you to your rivals?
You know what? For all my career, I've gone on about I've had this target in front of me, fighting this person, fighting that person. You know, all unhappy fighter makes you a dangerous fighter. If I'm truthfully honest now, I'm not asked about anything. I'm really not asked. I'm in a good place mentally, physically. Any fight for me is now a bonus, and I'm enjoying training. You know, there were times as years gone by where I felt like turning off every exercise on my way to the gym, and it was. I then went over to VIP gym, and the camps have been great. And I laugh like, I mean, they had a shit year last year, but the training camps was unreal. We had a quality time. But even then, I look, even though I did have a good year, I look back in the fights and I did enjoy myself. I enjoyed the training. I did enjoy myself, and now for me it's just about getting in there and just enjoying myself, and that's what I'm going to do. So training's gone well because I've not thought that I've had to go to the gym. It's made me go more in a weird way. So yeah, training's gone well, and yeah, you're going to see an happy fighter in there on Friday, and I think it'll show.
It almost, you sound so enlightened that you maybe start a religion or something, but is it simply that because you had those 4 world title challenges, a lot of people think you won one of them, a lot of people think you won 2, and some people even think you won 3 of them. Is it simply because you've let that go and you just gone, I just want to fight for fighting's sake now?
I mean, yeah, but to be honest, I've always let the fights go. The decisions, they've never really affected me too much. Listen, I've got a lovely family, I've got a lovely wife. I've got a good life, so there's no reason for me, you know, outside of boxing, so there's no reason for me to let boxing stress me out. It did do when I was like looking at different world title fights and stuff like that, but last year just topped it off for me. You know, there's a saying, you only get out what you put in, but I think it's bullshit. I really do, because I grafted my ass off last year, and what did I get from it? Do you know what I mean? And I didn't fight the best in my last fight. You know, it was a bad performance by me, but I still thought I won the fight, and I can't even get any fucking luck at all. So what chance have I got of getting luck abroad? Do you know what I mean? I see all these fighters, and fair play to them, the ones who get the touches. Good luck to them, happy days. Where's my fucking touch? Do you know what I mean? I don't get one. But the start of this year is the first year. I turned pro in 2007. And the start of this year is the first year where I've started the year not giving a fuck about boxing, not putting myself under any stress, any pressure, any expectation, and by doing that I've really been able to strip myself back and really value what's important to me, and it's been good mentally. I'm in a great place, and I'm fighting now because I want to fight, not because I feel that I have to fight. And it's a great feeling, so I'm really looking forward to Friday.
Superb. Martin Murray stripped back and looking for a touch. I think everyone wishes you luck, Martin.
Cheers, mate.
It's a journey that should end in where it's always promised to end. So we look forward to seeing you take a step towards that again on Friday night. Now to the main event. A 50-50. The 50-50 thing gets bandied around a lot, but this really is a pick and fight for us. So I think there are about 600 people in this room, and let's have a show of hands. Who thinks Jazz is going to win?
Yeah!
That's 150. So 150 that proves it. But two guys who really don't think it's a 50-50 fight are either side of me and Lee here. They probably think it's a 100-0 fight. We'll hear first from Nathaniel. Let me grab that microphone. Nathaniel, perhaps lacking activity over the last year or so, but no one's ever doubted your talent and your sort of class. Jazza said I don't know whether he was joking or not, he said he saw one of his mates saw you in the hotel and you looked like you were dying at the weight. You told me earlier in the week you're simply faster and hitting harder than him. So what do you really, tell us what's going to happen on Friday night when the first film goes.
Well, I don't predict fights, anything can happen in this sport. But I'm fit and I'm ready to go. If you want us to go to the war, we can. If you want to boxing match, yeah, we can do that too.
Good stuff. And the IBF, I guess, is what this is about. And how I mean, if you had the title shot tomorrow, what do you think would happen there? Have you ever doubted that that's where you're going to head ultimately to world level and a world title?
I'm not going to say no to a world title shot. I'm on that level, and where I am at the moment with my headspace and training, I'll fight for the title anytime I want.
I suppose earlier in the week you said you were enjoying being in Liverpool and what a nice place it was. When you get there on Friday night, I guess Jazz's mates might not make it quite such a nice place for you, but are you the type to maybe thrive off that and try and shut a hostile crowd up?
You have to look at it that way. The home boys down, I'm trying to bring up the upset, so if they give me shit about it, let's get it on.
Good stuff. Jazza, how loud is that crowd going to be for Nathaniel and yourself on Friday night? You're a popular guy around here, aren't you?
It will be loud for me, and I appreciate all the support. And I just hope that Nathaniel just gets his right off the Liverpool people, because it's the latest fighting city in the world, and he's got a chance to come over here and fight here. Take me out of him for coming over here to fight here. But the statement he made about if we want to go to war, we are going to war. That's what I do. I'm looking forward to it, and it will be round. Sold so many tickets. I'm just looking forward to it. I love fighting in the Olympia. I've never lost a fight in there. It's always been knockouts in there. It's just a great place for boxing for me. I love fighting in the Olympia. I love fighting full stop. 8 months ago I was walking to Miami with a bag over my back, just on my own. No family behind me, just no opportunity. Just constantly thinking, where's my shot? I've got to fucking make it happen. And my shot came. As soon as I came home, came back in the gym. Telling George, said, come back in the gym. Don't be a stranger. I have to travel to go and get opportunities. Nothing's happening. I've got a fight here in the Olympia, and probably got a career best performance. So all the hard work that I've been doing paid off, and now we're in a position now just before take this European title. There's nothing else after that apart from a world title. I want to get this title. I've been mandated for European titles and fought at the top level, so there's nothing else after this to make a world title. That being said, this is the job I've got to do, and good job I will do on Friday night, and I hope everyone who's bought the tickets and paid the money has a good night too.
You just mentioned there that you will go to war at the risk of being accused of being a shit stirrer again, which I suppose is half my job up here. Nathaniel said that power-wise, he'll be very comfortable in the pocket with you because he hits harder than you. He doubts you've got the power to sort of trouble him in there. Is that something you think he's simply got very wrong?
You can give an hammer, I couldn't give a fuck. I've got a chin and granny. I'm going to be strong with the weight. That's where I'm going. I'm going to a fight. What's he going to do? Punch me?
Probably, yeah. That's great. We might have we're going to have a face-off with the main event, and all the fighters will be available for one-on-one interviews. Thanks very much for coming today. It means a lot to us, and we look forward to a great fight on Friday night with all these brilliant fighters. Thanks again. Weigh-in tomorrow is at Derry's Gym. Very good host, Derry. What time is that?
1 p.m.
1 p.m. at Derry's Gym, so we'll see you all back then. Thanks again for coming. Cheers.